Lights, camera, action, and welcome back to Soundtrack Collector for the third installment in our running series on science fiction soundtracks of the past 100 plus years. If you saw my previous episodes covering the silent era through the 50s and last week's 1960s to 70s episode, then you might wonder why this episode is limited to the 1980s when I said that I was going to cover the 80s and 90s. Well, when I started to assemble the list of soundtracks that I wanted to feature in the 80s and 90s, I realized that I really needed to divide the decades into two videos in order to do them justice. So this episode will just cover the 1980s, and the next ep will cover the 90s. As with some previous episodes, I've created a playlist on YouTube Music for this video. Be sure to check it out if you have a YouTube subscription. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on your favorite 1980s SF soundtracks and the ones you'd like to see in the 90s episode coming up. We've got a lot to cover in this video, so let's get it rolling. Out of the gate, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back in 1980. John Williams' score for The Empire Strikes Back is a masterclass in cinematic music, taking the already iconic soundscape of Star Wars to new emotional and narrative depths. Building on the themes of the original film, Williams introduces darker, more sophisticated tones to match the film's intensified drama. The Imperial March, with its commanding 9-note motif, became the instant symbol of the Empire's might and Darth Vader's looming presence. Arguably one of the most recognizable pieces in film history. Alongside this, Williams debuts Yoda's theme, a gentle and mystical melody that perfectly embodies the wisdom of the Jedi Master. The score also showcases Williams' daring use of avant-garde techniques and rich harmonic textures, pushing film music into bold, uncharted territory. Performed by the London Symphony Orchestra, the soundtrack is as integral to the storytelling as the film itself, cementing its place as one of the most celebrated works in movie history. Next up, another sequel, Superman 2 from 1980. Ken Thorne's score for Superman 2 masterfully builds on the musical foundation laid by John Williams in the first film, creating a soundtrack that feels both familiar and fresh. Tasked with adapting and expanding Williams' iconic themes, Thorne maintained the grandeur of the original while introducing variations that suited the sequel's more dramatic tone. His music expertly underscores the film's emotional arcs, from Superman's deepening bond with Lois Lane to the high-stakes clash with Kryptonian supervillains. While darker in tone to match the story's intensity, Thorne's compositions ensure the heroic essence of Williams' work remains at the heart of the story, offering a dynamic and fitting accompaniment to the film's narrative evolution. Also in 1980, we got Flash Gordon. Queen's groundbreaking score for Flash Gordon is a bold fusion of rock and orchestral elements that perfectly mirrors the film's campy sci-fi charm. As the band's first foray into film soundtracks, the 1980 album doubles as their 9th studio album and a testament to their musical versatility. Anchored by iconic tracks like Flash's theme, famously released as the single Flash, and The Hero, the score features 18 pieces that oscillate between grandiose instrumentals such as Ming's theme and Battle theme, and Queen's signature theatricality. Freddie Mercury, Brian May, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon each contributed to the compositions, with Mercury and May leading the creative charge. Despite initial skepticism, producer Dino De Laurentiis, who feared Queen's style might be too over the top, the final product proved to be a seamless match for the film's vibrant, retro-futuristic energy. Charting at number 10 in the UK and number 23 in the US, the soundtrack achieved commercial success and carved a unique niche in Queen's discography, cementing their reputation as innovators capable of blending their larger-than-life sound with cinematic storytelling. Next up, Altered States from 1980. Corigliano's score for Altered States is a landmark in film music, blending experimental techniques and contemporary classical elements to create an otherworldly soundscape. As his debut in film scoring, the 1980 soundtrack earned Corigliano an Academy Award nomination, an impressive feat for a science fiction horror film. Scores hauntingly original compositions such as the main theme and first hallucination and the final transformation perfectly capture the film's intense exploration of altered consciousness. Corigliano's innovative use of dissonance, unconventional instrumentation, and emotional crescendos evoke both disorientation and transcendence, mirroring the protagonist's psychedelic journey. Director Ken Russell's decision to grant Corigliano significant creative freedom and limit the film's musical cues adds to the score's impact, making each note feel deliberate and profound. By marrying artistic boldness with narrative depth, Corigliano not only elevated the film's themes, but also set a new benchmark for experimental film scoring. In 1981, we got Time Bandits. Mike Moran's score for Time Bandits is a whimsical blend of electronic, orchestral, and choral elements that perfectly complements Terry Gilliam's fantastical adventure story. As his debut film score, Moran rose to the challenge by composing and orchestrating music in just 21 days, bringing it to life with a 70-piece orchestra. Standout tracks like opening titles, Dwarves' Entrance, and the intricate entrance into the Fortress of Darkness showcase Moran's talent for balancing complexity and accessibility with vibrant percussion and dynamic arrangements. The soundtrack also reflects the film's time-hopping narrative, incorporating period-appropriate music for historical sequences such as Napoleon's battles and a haunting modal theme for ancient Mycenae. George Harrison, who co-produced the film through Handmade Films, contributed the closing credits song Dream Away, adding a charming touch to the score. Though overlooked for decades, the soundtrack's eventual release in 2020 delighted fans, solidifying its place as an essential piece of the Time Bandits' enduring magic. Mad Max: The Road Warrior from 1981. Brian May's score for Mad Max: The Road Warrior elevates the post-apocalyptic saga with a refined orchestral sound that captures the film's larger-than-life scale and epic themes. Building on his work from the first Mad Max film, May, not to be confused with the guitarist from Queen, introduced a grander, more legato style, blending deep basses, cellos, and short motifs that create cohesion without relying on fully melodic themes. His use of electronic and orchestral elements alongside innovative sound effects like those heard in Boomerang Attack and The Refinery Explodes enhances the visceral and chaotic atmosphere of the wasteland. Influenced by classical Western scores, May's compositions reinforce the film's modern revival in the old Western aesthetic, with standout tracks like Montage and Main Title, setting up the backstory, and action-packed pieces like Confrontation driving the tension. Composed and recorded in just 21 days with a 70-piece orchestra, the score's cinematic grandeur helped earn May an Australian Film Institute Award nomination for Best Score. The soundtrack remains a testament to May's ability to transform dystopian landscapes into unforgettable auditory experiences. Also from 1981 is Escape from New York. John Carpenter's score for his film, composed in collaboration with Alan Howarth, is a pioneering work of electronic film music that has left an indelible mark on the genre. Blending synthesizers like the ARP and Prophet 5 with a Linn, a drum machine, acoustic piano, and Fender guitars, the score creates a dark, pulsing atmosphere that perfectly embodies the film's dystopian vision. Carpenter crafted the iconic melodies, including the unforgettable Main Title theme, while Howarth handled the technical intricacies of recording, editing, and sequencing. An impressive feat given the absence of MIDI technology at the time. Tracks like The Duke Arrives, The Barricade, and The Chase across the 69th Street Bridge highlight the score's dynamic range, while an adaptation of Claude Debussy's Engulfed Cathedral adds a haunting classical dimension to the otherwise electronic soundscape. Celebrated for its innovation and mood-setting brilliance, the score has influenced countless musicians and filmmakers, solidifying its place as a landmark in science fiction cinematic music. Also from 1981 is Outland. Jerry Goldsmith is back to score Outland in a masterful blend of tension, atmosphere, and innovation, perfectly capturing the perilous and claustrophobic world of this sci-fi thriller. Performed by the National Philharmonic Orchestra, the score features suspenseful textures reminiscent of Goldsmith's work on Alien a few years earlier, while adopting a modernist approach that complements the film's futuristic space station setting. Tracks like the ominous main title and pulse-pounding Hot Water are, with its Stravinsky-inspired rhythms, demonstrate Goldsmith's ability to balance mood and momentum. Enhancing the score's distinctiveness, Goldsmith incorporates electronic elements to emphasize the film's dystopian themes, while contributions from Morton Stevens and Michael Boedicker enrich the sonic palette. Stevens adapted Goldsmith's themes for the climactic fight sequence, and Boedicker provided the atmospheric Rec Room source music. The score reflects Goldsmith's enduring influence on the genre, cementing Outland as a standout in the canon of science fiction film music. Also 1981 is Scanners by David Cronenberg. Howard Shore's score for Scanners is a chilling, atmospheric masterpiece that perfectly captures the psychological intensity and eerie tone of Cronenberg's cult classic. One of Shore's early collaborations with Cronenberg, the 1981 soundtrack combines orchestral and electronic elements to heighten the tension and underscore the film's themes of telekinetic power and psychological horror. Tracks like the main title, Veil Captured, and Ephemeral showcase Shore's talent for crafting haunting and memorable motifs that stay with the audience long after the film ends. Despite its critical acclaim, the score remained unreleased for decades, becoming a hidden gem among film music enthusiasts with its innovative blend of sounds and Shore's knack for unsettling themes. The Scanners score remains a benchmark in science fiction horror film music. Star Trek The Wrath of Khan from 1982, James Horner's score for the second Star Trek film is a landmark achievement in film music, introducing a fresh and emotionally resonant sound to the Star Trek franchise. Marking Horner's first major film score, the 72 minutes of music combines sweeping orchestral elements with modernistic touches of synthesizers and electronic effects, distinguishing itself from the purely epic style popularized by John Williams. Performed by a 91-piece Hollywood Studio Symphony Orchestra, the score is celebrated for its thematic depth, with standout tracks like the main title, which incorporates Alexander Courage's original Star Trek theme, the thrilling Battle of the Mutara Nebula, and the tension-filled Genesis Countdown. Horner's evocative score not only cemented his status as a rising star in film music, but also played a crucial role in the enduring success of The Wrath of Khan, captivating both Star Trek fans and film music enthusiasts with its emotional power and innovative style. Speaking of innovation, next up is Tron. Wendy Carlos's groundbreaking score for Tron is a masterful fusion of electronic innovation and orchestral grandeur, perfectly capturing the film's trailblazing journey into the digital realm. Collaborating with her partner, Anna Marie Franklin, Carlos utilized analog Moog synthesizers and the rare Crewmark General Development System GDS digital synthesizer, blending these futuristic sounds with performances by the London Philharmonic Orchestra. Now, this distinctive approach created a soundscape that feels both mechanical and organic, encapsulating the film's cybernetic themes. Notable tracks like Main Title and Tron Scherzo highlight Carlos's expertise in complex variable time signatures, which presented unique challenges for the orchestra. The soundtrack includes 2 additional tracks by the band Journey, adding a rock element to the futuristic sound. Widely regarded as a milestone in science fiction film music, Carlos' Tron score has inspired countless composers and musicians, solidifying its place as a landmark achievement in electronic and cinematic music. Speaking of landmark achievements in electronic cinematic music, we have Blade Runner. Vangelis' score for Blade Runner is a visionary blend of electronic, orchestral, and ambient elements that redefined the sound of sci-fi cinema. Departing from the traditional orchestral approaches, the Greek composer created a soundscape as complex and layered as the dystopian world it accompanies. Working in his London-based Nemo Studios, Vangelis improvised much of the music while watching scenes from the film, seamlessly blending his iconic Yamaha CS80 synthesizer with digital instruments like the Crumar GDS system. The result is a score that enhances the film's futuristic cyberpunk ambience through innovative use of diegetic and non-diegetic sounds, along with influences from jazz, Middle Eastern textures, and neoclassical styles. Standout moments include the soulful saxophone on Love Theme performed by Dick Morrissey and the haunting vocal contributions of Demis Rousseau, which added emotional depth to the film's existential questions. Now, despite its acclaim, the soundtrack wasn't officially released until years later due to disputes between Vangelis and the studio. However, Vangelis' Blade Runner score remains an iconic classic of cyberpunk science fiction and is celebrated for its emotional resonance and profound influence on both electronic and film music, cementing its place as a cornerstone in modern cinematic sound. Next up is E.T. the Extraterrestrial from 1982. John Williams' score for E.T. is a masterful blend of emotion, wonder, and cinematic magic, often hailed as one of his greatest achievements, one of the greatest achievements in film music. Collaborating closely with Steven Spielberg, Williams composed a 72-minute orchestral score that perfectly captures the film's heartwarming and awe-inspiring story. Signature pieces like the uplifting flying theme and the tender E.T.'s theme stand as timeless examples of his ability to convey deep emotional resonance through music. One of the most iconic moments in the score is Adventures on Earth, a sweeping suite so powerful that Spielberg re-edited the film to match Williams' recording, a testament to their artistic synergy. Among its many accolades, the soundtrack earned a Grammy for Best Instrumental Composition for Flying, and Williams' E.T. score is celebrated for its thematic richness and ability to elevate the film's emotional core, cementing both the movie's and the composer's place in cinematic history. Also from 1982 is The Thing. Ennio Morricone's score for The Thing is a haunting and minimalist masterpiece, blending orchestral and synthesizer elements to evoke the film's icy isolation and creeping dread. Collaborating with director John Carpenter, Morricone crafted nearly 72 minutes of music without actually seeing the completed film. Instead, relying on Carpenter's guidance about tone and atmosphere. The result is a chilling soundscape highlighted by the slow-building main theme that mirrors the movie's escalating tension. Tracks like Humanity Part 1 and Shape utilize cello to create a pervasive sense of unease, while Carpenter himself contributed additional synthesizer pieces to kind of fill gaps in the score, further enhancing the film's eerie mood. This collaboration was marked by mutual respect, despite some communication challenges, and Carpenter's awe of Morricone's legendary status. Over the years, the score has been lauded for its ability to amplify the film's isolated Antarctica setting and its mounting paranoia. Morricone's work on The Thing stands as a unique fusion of two creative titans and remains a cornerstone of science fiction horror film music, celebrated for its minimalist power and timeless atmosphere. Speaking of experimental stuff, Videodrome from 1983. Howard Shore's score for Videodrome is an innovative fusion of orchestral and electronic elements that perfectly mirrors the film's unsettling themes of media manipulation and body horror. Collaborating once again with director David Cronenberg, Shore composed the music to track protagonist Max Wren's descent into surreal video hallucinations. Initially written for a full orchestra, the score was programmed into a synclavier digital synthesizer, creating a unique blend of synthesized and acoustic sounds. The final recording, which combines these electronic elements with a small string section, really blurs the line between organic and artificial, echoing the film's eerie exploration of technology's impact on human consciousness. Notable tracks like Cable 83, Piercing, and The New Flesh capture the haunting tone of the narrative, underscoring the tension and psychological unraveling at the heart of the story. A fully restored soundtrack supervised by Shore came out nearly 40 years after the film's debut, with its daring approach to blending orchestral depth and electronic innovation. Shore's Videodrome score remains a standout in his career, cementing his reputation as a versatile and forward-thinking composer while contributing significantly to the film's lasting impact in the realm of science fiction psychological horror. Return of the Jedi from 1983, John Williams' score for the third Star Wars installment is a triumphant conclusion to this trilogy, blending familiar motifs with innovative new themes to capture the film's emotional and narrative depth. Performed by the London Symphony Orchestra, the score introduces 4 new themes, including the haunting death motif heard in The Death of Yoda and The Dark Side Beckons, while continuing to develop beloved themes from previous films. Williams also crafted evocative, source-like music for Jabba's palace and the Ewoks, adding rich texture to the galaxy's diverse cultures. With more material recorded than the total runtime of the film, the Return of the Jedi score is notably expansive. Despite facing tough competition in the 1983 Academy Awards and some criticism for fragmented themes and sound quality, the score is celebrated for its emotional depth and ability to bring the trilogy's musical journey to a resounding close. Williams' work on Return of the Jedi solidifies his legacy as one of the greatest film composers of all time. In the same year as the third Star Wars movie, we get Superman 3. Ken Thorne's score for Superman 3 builds on the iconic musical foundation established by John Williams, of course, adapting familiar themes while introducing new material to suit the film's lighter comedic tone. Thorne's orchestral arrangements capture the film's blend of action and humor, with memorable cues like the playful theme for Gus Gorman, played by Richard Pryor, and the more whimsical take on the Superman motifs. Tracks like the main title, The Streets of Metropolis, and The Two Faces of Superman reflect Thorne's ability to balance heroism with the film's slapstick elements. Adding a contemporary twist, Giorgio Moroder contributed synthesized pop songs, including Rock On by Marshall Crenshaw and No See No Cry by Chaka Khan, as well as a synthesized rendition of the main title march and a love theme for Clark Kent and Lana Lang. This collaboration marked a departure from the orchestral purity of the earlier films, blending pop songs with traditional scoring. While the mix of orchestral and pop elements received mixed reviews, some critics felt the pop songs undercut the cohesiveness of Thorne's work. The score remains a notable part of the Superman musical legacy, showcasing Thorne's skill in adapting to the film's unique tone. In 1984, we got the first Terminator film. Brad Feidel's score for the Terminator is a groundbreaking achievement in electronic film music, perfectly complementing the film's gritty, dystopian atmosphere with its innovative use of synthesizers. Using instruments like the Prophet 10 and Oberheim, Fidel crafted a soundscape that is both mechanical and emotional, embodying the tension between technology and humanity at the heart of the story. The signature main theme, with its haunting melody and driving rhythm in the unconventional 13/8 time signature, is an iconic motif that reflects the relentless nature of the Terminator, while adding a sense of humanity to the narrative. Fidel's approach to the score was highly experimental, performing much of the music live to infuse it with energy and immediacy. He described the score as capturing a mechanical man and his heartbeat, a concept that resonates throughout tracks like the pulsating action cues and the eerie atmospheric pieces. Now, celebrated for its innovative techniques and emotional depth, the Terminator score set a new standard for sci-fi soundtracks, influencing a generation of composers, securing its place as one of the most iconic film scores in cinema history. 1984 came out, and in 1984, Dominic Moldoni's score for 1984 is a powerful orchestral work that brings depth and nuance to George Orwell's dystopian vision. Featuring lush arrangements, large choral pieces, and poignant anthems like Oceana, 'Tis for Thee, the score captures the oppressive atmosphere and emotional gravity of the story. Moldoni's music blends foreboding tones with romantic suites, enhancing the tension between the totalitarian regime and the human spirit struggling against it. However, the score's journey was not without controversy. Much of Moldoni's original composition was replaced by pop songs from the British duo The Eurythmics prior to the film's release, a decision that director Michael Radford opposed. This led to two versions of the film, one featuring Eurythmics music and a director's cut restoring more of Moldoni's work. The original score remained largely underappreciated until its remastered release in 1999 as 1984, The Music of Oceana, which included all of Moldoni's compositions and offered fans a fuller appreciation of his vision. Well, while critics felt the score could have delivered more emotional impact, it is praised for its orchestral richness and its ability to convey the oppressive and somber tone of Orwell's world. Also in '84 is Starman. Jack Nitzsche's score for Starman is a poignant blend of orchestral and electronic elements that beautifully underscores the film's themes of love, alienation, and longing for connection. Anchored by a haunting main theme built around a repetitive four-note pulse and the elegant six-note melody, the music captures the emotional bond between Jenny and the Starman, as well as his yearning to return home. Nitzsche's innovative approach to instrumentation, which combined synthesizers with traditional orchestral textures, was enhanced by the contributions of musicians Brian Banks and Anthony Marinelli, who added rich electronic layers to the score. Notable tracks such as Honeymoon, Pickup Truck, and Starman Leaves the End Title highlight the emotional depth and cinematic resonance of the soundtrack. The album also features a heartfelt rendition of All I Have to Do Is Dream, performed by stars Jeff Bridges and Karen Allen, adding a personal touch to the musical narrative. Nitzsche's work earned a Golden Globe nomination for Best Score, with critics praising its emotional richness and innovative blending of styles. More than just a backdrop, the Starman score is an integral part of the film's atmosphere, seamlessly weaving science fiction and romance into an unforgettable experience that remains a standout in 1980s film music. Also in '84, we got 2010, the sequel to 2001. David Shire's score for 2010, The Year We Make Contact, is a bold and innovative blend of electronic and orchestral elements that reflects the film's futuristic themes and technological exploration. Following an initial attempt by Genesis keyboardist Tony Banks, Shire's compositions leaned heavily on digital synthesizers like the Synclavier and Yamaha DX1, creating a modern and otherworldly soundscape. Remarkably, only two pieces in the score feature a traditional symphony orchestra, emphasizing Shire's commitment to the synthesized approach. The liner notes proudly highlight the absence of resynthesis or sampling, underscoring the authenticity of the electronic sound design. The soundtrack captures the awe and mystery of space exploration. Also included is the Police guitarist Andy Summers' new wave pop version of Also Sprach Zarathustra, retitled 2010, though it was not featured in the film. Shire co-produced the score with Craig Huxley, whose contributions further enhanced the electronic textures, adding depth and complexity to the music. Initially receiving some mixed reviews, the score has since been reevaluated and praised for its thematic resonance and innovative use of synthesizers, effectively capturing humanity's relationship with technology and the cosmos. Shire's work on 2010 stands as a landmark in electronic film music, offering a unique auditory experience that continues to captivate fans of science fiction cinema. Also in 1984, we got Dune, directed by David Lynch. Toto's score for Dune is a bold and ambitious fusion of symphonic rock and orchestral grandeur, perfectly aligning with the film's epic scale and science fiction mystique. The collaboration, which marked the band's first and only foray into film scoring, resulted in a soundtrack that captures the sweeping drama and otherworldly atmosphere of Frank Herbert's universe. Conducted by Marty Page and performed with the Vienna Symphony Orchestra and Volksoper Choir, the score combines the traditional orchestral elements of Toto's signature rock sensibilities, showcasing the band's versatility. Now, the standout feature on the soundtrack is the Prophecy theme, composed by Brian Eno, his brother Roger Eno, and Daniel Lanois, which complements Toto's contributions such as Prologue, main title, Sandworm Attack, and the evocative Lados theme. These pieces, with their rich instrumentation and memorable motifs, convey the story's grandeur and emotional depth. Toto's integration of electronic textures alongside the orchestra adds a futuristic layer to the music, mirroring the film's science fiction setting. Though the film itself received mixed reviews upon release, Toto's score has been celebrated for its audacity and unique sound, gaining recognition as one of the adaptation's most enduring elements. Critics and fans alike have praised the music's ability to evoke the epic scope of Herbert's world while bringing a fresh, rock-inspired approach to film scoring. Toto's work on Dune remains a testament to their creativity and a memorable piece of the franchise's legacy. For Star Trek III: The Search for Spock, James Horner's score masterfully blends continuity and innovation, building on the theme he introduced in The Wrath of Khan while crafting new motifs to match the emotional depth and dramatic stakes of the story. Reworking Spock's theme and the Enterprise theme, Horner adds a new aggressive Klingon theme, enhancing the narrative tension and providing a cohesive musical identity across the films. This thematic consistency amplifies pivotal moments such as Spock's resurrection and Kirk's poignant loss of the USS Enterprise, infusing the score with profound emotional resonance. Horner's instrumentation combines lush orchestral elements with unique textures such as clanking percussion and ethereal woodwinds to evoke both adventure and mysticism. Tracks like Stealing the Enterprise exemplify his talent for dynamic action cues, while the mind meld underscores the film's intimate and spiritual moments. This versatile approach highlights Horner's ability to adapt to the tonal shifts in the narrative. While some critics view it as slightly overshadowed by its predecessor, the score is widely praised for its dramatic flair and emotional impact, particularly in scenes that explore Kirk's relationship with Spock. Horner's work on Star Trek III remains a cornerstone of the franchise's musical legacy, with its themes continuing to influence subsequent Star Trek media. His ability to blend rich thematic material with emotional complexity solidifies the score as a vital piece of science fiction cinema history and a testament to his enduring artistry. In 1985, we got Back to the Future. Alan Silvestri's score for Back to the Future is a triumph of film music, perfectly capturing the adventurous, whimsical, and suspenseful tone of the time-traveling classic. This career-defining work features unforgettable themes, including the iconic main title, whose energetic and richly orchestrated melody has become synonymous with the franchise. Silvestri's masterful use of motifs such as the playful yet grand theme of Doc Brown's arrival seamlessly supports the film's humor, action, and emotional moments. Recorded with a full orchestra, the score's dynamic sound combines traditional orchestral elements with subtle synthesizer touches, bridging the 1950s setting and the futuristic aspects of the story. While the original 1985 soundtrack featured only 2 tracks from Silvestri's score alongside pop hits by Huey Lewis and the News, the demand for a full orchestral experience led to a 2009 release of the complete score. Critics and audiences alike have lauded the score for its ability to elevate the film's narrative and amplify its emotional core. The main theme, now one of the most recognizable in cinematic history, has become a cultural touchstone, inspiring future composers and finding new life in concerts and adaptations. Silvestri's score is more than just music, it's an integral part of Back to the Future's magic, contributing significantly to the film's enduring status as a beloved classic and securing its place as a cornerstone of 1980s cinema. In 1985, we got Brazil. Michael Kamen's score for Brazil is a masterful blend of eclectic musical styles perfectly complementing Terry Gilliam's surreal and dystopian vision. Combining orchestral grandeur, jazz influences, and whimsical pop elements, Kamen's compositions capture the absurdity and melancholy of the film's satirical take on bureaucracy run amok. Central to the soundtrack is the recurring motif of Aquarela do Brasil by Ari Barbarossa, whose playful yet poignant melody threads through the narrative, creating a sense of continuity and emotional resonance. Jeff Maldor's rendition of the song is particularly memorable, encapsulating the film's dreamlike tone. Kamen's original compositions, such as Sam Lowry's First Dream, featuring haunting vocals by Kate Bush and the lively Bachianos Brazil Samba, underscore both the protagonist's flights of fancy and the grim reality of his bureaucratic world. The score's ability to shift between whimsy and darkness mirrors the film's unique balance of humor and bleakness, enhancing its richly layered storytelling. Critics have lauded Kamen's work for its creativity and emotional depth, noting its crucial role in reinforcing the film's iconic, dreamlike quality. Over time, Kamen's Brazil score has become celebrated as one of his finest achievements, with its innovative fusion of styles and iconic use of the theme music solidifying its place in cinematic history. The film not only amplifies the film's thematic resonance, but also stands as a testament to Kamen's talent for crafting unique and evocative soundscapes. Also in 1985, we got The Quiet Earth. John Charles's score for The Quiet Earth is a haunting and evocative composition that perfectly complements the film's post-apocalyptic narrative and existential themes. Combining symphonic orchestration with avant-garde elements, Charles creates a soundscape that underscores the eerie desolation and emotional introspection of the story. Performed by the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra, the music features strings, brass, and woodwinds interwoven with experimental textures that heighten the sense of isolation and mystery. Key pieces such as Sunrise, which opens the film with a minimalist orchestral progression, set a tone of both foreboding and fragile hope. Tracks like Empty Town capture the vast emptiness of the world without humanity, while Last Love Scene adds a poignant emotional depth, reflecting the characters' fleeting connections to the desolate landscape. Charles' motifs not only enrich the atmosphere, but also amplify the film's moments of quiet tension and philosophical weight. Critics have praised Charles' ability to craft music that conveys profound emotional resonance, particularly in scenes where dialogue is sparse and the visuals drive the storytelling. Now a cult classic of New Zealand cinema, The Quiet Earth owes much of its lasting impact to Charles's innovative score, which enhances its themes of isolation, humanity, and cosmic wonder. Also in 1985, we get Mad Beyond Thunderdome, the third Mad Max movie, this time composed by Maurice Jarre. It is a cornerstone of the film's iconic legacy. Now, known for his work on Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago and the same year's Enemy Mine, Jarre's orchestral score performed by the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra amplifies the film's post-apocalyptic atmosphere and themes of survival and redemption. Notable tracks like Max's theme and Thunderdome capture both tension and emotion. The soundtrack also features, of course, Tina Turner's hit songs, including We Don't Need Another Hero and One of the Living, which achieved significant chart success and became integral to the film's cultural impact. Critics have praised Jarre's score for enhancing the film's dramatic moments while adding depth to its narrative. Together, Jarre's sweeping music and Turner's powerful performances solidified Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome as a cult classic, influencing the action and sci-fi genres for decades. Also in 1985, we got Lifeforce with a soundtrack composed by, of all people, Henry Mancini, showcasing the legendary composer's versatility and ability to elevate storytelling through music. For this sci-fi horror film by Tobe Hooper, Mancini crafted a dynamic score blending orchestral elements with ambient and atonal sounds to reflect themes of alien vampirism and existential dread. Key features, including the use of the London Symphony Orchestra, delivered a rich soundscape highlighted by a space ballet theme, originally composed for a dialogue-free opening sequence. Mancini's haunting motifs recur throughout the film, enhancing the eerie atmosphere. Additional cues by Michael Kamen and James Guthrie for the American release added stylistic variety. Though Lifeforce received mixed reviews, its music has been widely praised for its orchestration and ability to heighten tension and emotion, complementing the film's visual style. Now a cult classic, Lifeforce is remembered for Mancini's standout score, which remains a key element of its lasting impact in science fiction horror cinema. Speaking of science fiction horror cinema, in 1986, we got The Fly. Howard Shore's score for The Fly marked a pivotal moment in his career, showcasing his ability to enhance storytelling through evocative music. Directed by David Cronenberg, this horror sci-fi film explores transformation and humanity, themes deeply amplified by Shore's haunting and emotional compositions. The orchestral score, performed by the London Philharmonic Orchestra, features thematic motifs that reflect the tragic metamorphosis of Seth Brundle, played by Jeff Goldblum. Key elements include a 3-note brass fanfare and a 4-note string motif, both recurring throughout the film to underscore its emotional depth and tragic love story with Veronica, played by Geena Davis. Critics praise the music for adding sensitivity and tragedy to the film's disturbing imagery, elevating its narrative beyond traditional horror. Now considered a classic, The Fly owes much of its enduring impact to Shore's innovative score, which remains a landmark in both his career and genre cinema for its emotional resonance and originality. Also in '86, we got James Horner's score for Aliens, a landmark in science fiction cinema, blending traditional orchestral elements with innovative techniques to amplify the film's intensity and emotional depth. Recorded with the London Symphony Orchestra at Abbey Road Studios, the music complements director James Cameron's vision, capturing both the film's relentless action and its poignant moments. Key features include complex orchestration and powerful brass fanfares, haunting strings, and rhythmic percussion driving the tension. Notable tracks like Main Title and Bishop's Countdown and Futile Escape highlight Horner's dynamic range, while recurring motifs deepen emotional connections, particularly with Ripley's journey. The inclusion of Aram Khachaturian's Gaian Adagio adds further nuance to the score. Despite facing severe time constraints due to production delays, Horner delivered a score that earned an Academy Award nomination. Widely acclaimed for its ability to heighten suspense and adventure, Horner's Alien score remains influential in science fiction and has been used in numerous other media. Its legacy as one of Horner's most significant works underscores its vital role in the enduring impact of the iconic film. Next up, Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, also from '86. Leonard Rosenman's score for Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home captures the film's unique blend of humor, adventure, and environmental themes. Brought on after James Horner declined to return, Rosenman delivered a rich orchestral score that enhances the narrative and emotional depth of Leonard Nimoy's lighthearted entry in the franchise. Key features include a 6-note theme paired with a 4-note brass motif, unifying the score while highlighting key emotional moments, particularly those involving the whales central to the story. Tracks like main title, Crash Whale Fugue, and Home Again end credits showcase Rosenman's ability to evoke both whimsy and drama. Contributions from jazz fusion band Yellow Jackets on tracks like Market Street and Ballad of the Whale add a modern flair, complementing the film's San Francisco setting. Critics praised Rosenman's creative approach, noting how the score enhances both comedic and poignant scenes. Beloved for its distinctive style, Star Trek IV owes much of its enduring appeal to Rosenman's music, which skillfully balances the film's humor and heart, solidifying its legacy in the Star Trek franchise. In 1987, we got Robocop. Basil Polidoris' score for Robocop is a masterful blend of orchestral and electronic elements, perfectly capturing the film's themes of technology and humanity. Collaborating with director Paul Verhoeven, Polidoris created a dynamic soundtrack that reflects the film's emotional depth and action-packed intensity. The score features a full orchestral arrangement by the Symphonia of London, complemented by electronic sounds that highlight Robocop's dual nature as both man and machine. Key tracks like main title, Murphy's Death, and Robo vs. Ed 209 showcase this fusion. Two major themes dominate the score: a heroic action motif for Robocop's battles and an introspective home theme that underscores his lost humanity and memories of his past life. Critics praise the score for its innovative blend of styles, enhancing both the film's explosive action and emotional resonance. Now a cult classic, Robocop owes much of its enduring appeal to Polidoris' score, which remains a defining feature of the film and a standout in 1980s science fiction cinema. The Running Man from 1987 features Harold Faltermeyer's score that blends orchestral and electronic elements to capture the film's dystopian action and satirical tone. Known for his work on Beverly Hills Cop and Top Gun, Faltermeyer utilized a synclavier and Yamaha DX7 synthesizers to create an energetic and distinctive sound. Key tracks such as main title, Flight Escape, and Buzzsaw and Richard's Fight showcase the dynamic fusion of styles, with recurring motifs adding urgency and excitement to the action. The driving rhythms and catchy melodies of the main theme enhance the narrative's intensity while complementing the film's humor and suspense. Critics praised Faltermeyer's music for its ability to heighten the film's fast-paced sequences and thematic depth. A cult favorite, The Running Man owes much of its lasting appeal to Faltermeyer's innovative score, which remains a standout feature in this iconic blend of sci-fi action and satire. Inner Space from 1987. Jerry Goldsmith's score for Inner Space perfectly complements the film's adventurous and comedic tone. Collaborating with director Joe Dante for the 5th time, Goldsmith crafted a dynamic blend of orchestral and electronic elements, reflecting the story of a miniaturized pilot navigating the human body. Key tracks like main title, The Body, The Chase showcase Goldsmith's ability to balance humor with action, while the playful yet heroic main theme enhances the protagonist's journey. Recurring motifs add emotional depth, connecting audiences to both the comedic and dramatic elements of the movie. Although Inner Space initially underperformed at the box office, it has since gained a cult following, with Goldsmith's score celebrated as a standout feature. His work remains a key part of the film's enduring appeal, exemplifying his talent for creating music that enriches storytelling while capturing its unique blend of adventure and humor. Also in '87, we got Predator. Alan Silvestri's score for Predator is a masterful blend of orchestral and percussive elements, perfectly complementing the film's intense action and suspense. Directed by John McTiernan, this sci-fi action classic follows elite soldiers facing an alien predator in the Central American jungle. With Silvestri's music amplifying the tension and danger, the score's heavy use of ethnic percussion creates a rhythmic intensity that drives the action. With tracks like Main Title, The Hunt, and Get to the Choppa, showcasing its dynamic energy. Silvestri's main theme is both heroic and foreboding, reflecting the soldiers' camaraderie and their struggle against the alien threat. Critics praise the score for its innovative use of rhythm and orchestration, enhancing the film's suspenseful and action-packed moments. Now a classic, Predator owes much of its enduring impact to Silvestri's score, which remains a defining feature of the film and a major influence in sci-fi action movies. Superman 4: The Quest for Peace in 1987. John Williams worked with Alexander Courage of Star Trek fame on this score, combining new themes with iconic motifs from Williams' earlier Superman score. While Williams composed 3 new themes, Lacey's theme, Jeremy's theme, and the Nuclear Man theme, Courage adapted and arranged these alongside classic tracks like Superman March, creating a seamless blend of old and new material. The score, performed by the London Symphony Orchestra under Courage's direction, balances moments of heroism, humor, and emotional depth. Tracks like Main Title, Lacey's theme, and Nuclear Man theme really highlight the dynamic range of the music, enhancing the film's tone despite its mixed reception. Critics praised the thematic richness and Courage's thoughtful adaptations, noting that the music remains a highlight of the film. Though Superman 4 is one of the less celebrated entries in the franchise, the score's blend of Williams' iconic motifs with new material contributes to its lasting appeal among fans, showcasing the enduring power of the music in the Superman legacy. In 1988, we got They Live. John Carpenter and Alan Howarth teamed up again for the score of They Live. It is a hallmark of Carpenter's distinctive synthesizer-driven style, perfectly complementing the film's satirical take on consumerism and media manipulation. The haunting, atmospheric music blends electronic orchestral elements to heighten both the tension and the action of Carpenter's sci-fi horror classic. Key tracks like Coming to LA, The Siege of Justiceville, and Wake Up showcase the score's dynamic range with recurring motifs reflecting the protagonist's journey of discovery and resistance against an alien-controlled society. The music enhances both the film's suspenseful sequences and its quieter, introspective moments. Critics have praised the score for amplifying the film's atmosphere and its satirical edge, making it an integral part of the viewing experience. Now a cult classic, They Live owes much of its lasting cultural impact to Carpenter and Howarth's score, which continues to resonate as a defining feature of the film's enduring legacy. In '88, we got Akira. Shoji Yamashiro's score for Akira, performed by Gaino Gamashiragumi Collective, is a groundbreaking blend of traditional and modern musical styles that perfectly complements Katsuhiro Otomo's iconic anime and cyberpunk masterpiece. The score's innovative fusion of Indonesian gamelan, Japanese no theater chants, and electronic elements creates a rich, immersive soundscape that enhances the dystopian world of Neo Tokyo. Key tracks showcase the primal and ritualistic qualities of gamelan instruments and bamboo percussion, paired with thematic motifs rooted in festival and requiem concepts requested by Otomo. This thematic depth adds emotional resonance to the film's chaotic narrative and complex characters. Critics have praised the score's originality and experimental nature, noting its pivotal role in elevating the film's atmosphere and themes of chaos and transformation. A cultural touchstone, Akira's score has influenced genres like hip-hop and electronic music, inspiring countless artists and cementing its legacy as one of the most innovative soundtracks in animation and science fiction cinema. In 1988, we got Cocoon. James Horner's score for Cocoon beautifully captures the film's themes of rejuvenation, wonder, and connection. Marking the start of his collaboration with director Ron Howard, Horner's lush orchestration enhances the emotional journey of elderly characters who discover a magical pool, granting them youthful vitality. The score features a 7-note primary motif that evokes magic and fantasy, woven with additional themes reflecting joy and excitement. Notable tracks like Theme from Cocoon, The Ascension, and Discovered in the Pool House showcase Horner's ability to blend emotional depth with a sense of awe, creating a cohesive musical identity. Critics praise the score for its emotional richness and its ability to complement both the comedic and poignant moments of the film. Now a beloved classic, Cocoon owes much of its enduring appeal to Horner's music, which remains a defining element of its legacy, resonating with audiences for its heartfelt and magical qualities. Also in 1988, we got Alien Nation. Jerry Goldsmith's original score for Alien Nation blended electronic and synthesized elements to capture the alien newcomer's otherness and the film's themes of acceptance and integration. Featuring melancholic and exotic motifs like the alien theme, his work was ultimately replaced by Kurt Sobel's more conventional orchestral score, which focused on action and drama but lacked the emotional depth of Goldsmith's approach. Goldsmith's rejected score, later released in 2005 by Varis Sarabande, has been praised for its innovative and thematic richness, while Sobel's final score received mixed reviews for its functionality. Despite its modest box office success, Alien Nation gained a cult following, with Goldsmith's unused compositions becoming a point of interest among film music enthusiasts. Goldsmith's visionary score remains a celebrated part of the film's legacy, highlighting his talent for crafting music that enhances storytelling and explores complex themes. In 1989, we got The Abyss. Alan Silvestri's score for The Abyss blends orchestral and electronic elements to capture the film's underwater setting and themes of humanity and the unknown. His first collaboration with director James Cameron, the score features a full orchestra and notable tracks like Main Title, The Crane, Sub Battle, which evoke tension, beauty, and wonder. The score's sweeping melodies and recurring motifs enhance emotional moments and character development, particularly during key scenes involving the alien presence. Praised for its emotional depth and atmospheric power, Silvestri's music complements the film's action and introspection, becoming a standout feature of The Abyss. It remains a vital part of the film's legacy in science fiction cinema, resonating with audiences for its innovative and evocative qualities. Also in 1989, we got Leviathan. Jerry Goldsmith's score masterfully blends orchestral and electronic elements to enhance the film's underwater setting and themes of isolation and survival. Performed by the Orchestra di Santa Cecilia in Rome, the score incorporates synthesizers and sampled whale songs to create a haunting, otherworldly atmosphere. Goldsmith's main theme captures the fear and adventure of the characters, while tracks like Underwater Camp, Decompression, and Escape Bubbles evoke tension and urgency. The soundtrack's experimental nature has divided opinions, but it remains a sought-after item for collectors and fans alike. Though Leviathan received mixed reviews, its score has gained appreciation over time for its innovation and influence on the science fiction horror genre. Goldsmith's work is a defining feature of the film, showcasing his ability to push boundaries and create evocative music that amplifies storytelling and atmosphere. Star Trek V: The Final Frontier marked Jerry Goldsmith's return to the franchise, yet again blending lush orchestration and thematic depth to enhance the film's exploration of spirituality and humanity. Notable tracks like The Mountain, The Mind Meld, and The Angry God capture the film's adventurous spirit while providing moments of introspection and emotional resonance. The score reintroduces themes from Goldsmith's earlier Star Trek work alongside new motifs that reflect the film's existential themes. Heroic yet reflective, the main theme encapsulates Captain Kirk's journey, reinforcing character arcs and key plot points. Critics praise Goldsmith's music for its ability to elevate both action sequences and quieter, reflective moments. While Star Trek V received mixed reviews, Goldsmith's score remains a standout feature, celebrated for its emotional depth and enduring impact within the Star Trek franchise. And finally, from 1989, we have Back to the Future 2. Alan Silvestri's score for this sequel builds on the success of his work in the original film, blending adventurous orchestral themes with new motifs to capture the sequel's dynamic exploration of alternate timelines and futuristic settings. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, the film's music enhances both its comedic and dramatic elements. Notable tracks like Main Title, The Future, and Hoverboard Chase showcase Silvestri's ability to evoke excitement, suspense, and nostalgia. The score revisits iconic themes from the first film while introducing fresh musical ideas to underscore the evolving narrative and characters' journeys. Critics praise Silvestri's score for its emotional resonance and ability to complement both action-packed and reflective scenes. Now a beloved classic, Back to the Future Part 2 owes much of its lasting appeal to Silvestri's music, which remains a defining feature of the film's legacy and a vital part of its cultural impact. So that's my roundup of science fiction soundtracks of the 1980s. Wow, quite a lot of them. Really, and some of them representing franchises that we'll see continued in the 90s. So what are your favorite science fiction soundtracks of the 1980s? I'd love to know. Leave a comment, and while you're at it, like, subscribe. Would love to hear from you. Also take a look at the previous episode on science fiction soundtracks of the 60s and 70s, not to mention the first installment in the series that covers the silent era to the 1950s. So the next episode will be devoted to the 90s, and then beyond that, of course, we'll get into the 2000s as well. And then, of course, there will be an episode that rounds up science fiction TV soundtracks from many decades. I'll also do an episode on European science fiction soundtracks that will most likely be focused on the 60s and 70s and 80s. So yet another episode in this running series to look forward to. Of course, I will get back to doing composer-focused episodes as well. I have ideas for Ennio Morricone, Michael Giacchino, Jerry Goldsmith, of course, Elmer Bernstein, and many, many others. And of course, I'll be doing episodes that focus on other genres as well. Horror, Western, crime, you name it. So plenty to look forward to on the Soundtrack Collector. If you're a science fiction fan, be sure to check out my other channel, Speculative Reader, where I do reviews of science fiction novels. That's all for now. Until next time, keep listening.